The rolling around on the floor continues. It's never stopped.
Well, it does stop.
Well, it's never stopped since we've gone into lockdown. And just like Jayne's yoga, the amino acids, cold coffee and water remain very much on the agenda. Still on the lemon and lime flavour. It's pretty good. Not as good as the dark cherry. Little serving there. What a mess I'm making. Small serving of coffee. I'll top up a little bit more because first is going to be a very brief posterior chain workout, little bit of rotating pull-up, followed by some explosive trap bar deadlift. Then I've got a training session, courtesy of Ed, that I really don't know if I'm capable of even half completing, let alone fully completing. More of that to come. $16.33 now. So welcome to Ed Laverack's 50-30s. Basically the training comprises 8 times 50-second sprints at 135% of FTP, i.e. 390 watts. 30-second recoveries at about half of FTP, if that, to be honest. Repeat 8 times, as I say, 5 or 6 minutes recovery, then go again 8 times. It'll be super difficult for me. I won't be using ERG or erg. My watt range will be 370 to 400. I'll try and stay seated as much as possible, right in the front of the saddle, getting on top of the gear, and we'll see how we go. So I'm on Mont Ventoux. The gradient is a bit more consistent than out the Zwift. I look to go on 18. Here we go, number 1. Trying to get the cadence high. Seven to go, dear me. That is horrific. It's quite hard when the power is fluctuating quite as much. But with ERG or erg, maybe like a 5-second, 6-second lag in getting up to power. And in real life, outdoors or racing, there's no erg mode. 33:47. I've taken about 6 minutes recovery. I really don't want to start even the second block, but we're going on 34. Now,
7. Oh man. Oh, very happy with that. Was horrendous. Getting right off the power in between the 50-second sprints helped with the quality of the sprint. Ed, I salute you, sir. Truly disgusting. Well, dear me, that was one super difficult training session. Possibly one of the hardest that Ed has ever prescribed for me. Definitely as much the mental battle as the physical. And as it happened yesterday, I did film a super punchy race to provide a few little tips ahead of the indoor Zwift racing season. I'm going to launch that as a vlog in September. I didn't live stream it, and as I say, it's going to be launched as a vlog in September. I hope you'll find it useful. Anyway, I digress. It was a punchy race, but nonetheless, the legs are feeling good, so no excuses there. But just how tough this training session was is demonstrated by the Training Peaks data. And by prescribing the 50-second intervals at 135% of FTP, Ed wanted me to be well into that zone 6 for each of the 16 50-second intervals. Having me spend as much time as possible in that kind of zone 6 that I personally find very difficult to sustain any great amount of timing. And by prescribing 16 of those intervals, he was wanting basically 13.5 minutes at 390 watts or more, 135% of FTP. More of that to come. But when you just look at the Training Peaks data here and isolate the sort of 26.5 minutes or so for those two blocks, average power 274 watts, and that includes 6 minutes of super soft pedaling and recovery, and of course the recovery between the intervals. Normalized power 317 watts, and that compares to my FTP of 290 watts. So having to work really, really hard. And when we look at the peaks, you can see I spent 13.5 minutes or just under above 350 watts. So well into zone 6, like really well into zone 6. So very happy with that. Getting quite close to what Ed intended. And when we then go and look at the Zwift data for the training session and you tot up the little bars above 375 watts, basically it comes to about 11 minutes above 375 watts. So super pleased with that training session. Definitely a full rest day and recovery tomorrow. Location: 50 metres above Verona, we present the first known sighting of Com Hunt TV merchandise outside the UK. Jayne's not impressed that I'm doing this on the airliner. The Eagle has landed. How cool is that? An old BEA livery for a modern plane. Very nice. Here we are in Verona. Fossa, the Perry Fossa. Welcome to beautiful Italy. I'm here with Davide.
Ciao!
Guide extraordinaire from the Garda Hotel. More of that to come. Garda Hotel, incredible. But we're about to hit the Fossa climb, the Perry Fossa climb. It's quite iconic because it's 9 kilometers at 9% average gradient, albeit the gradient steps up quite a lot on the final 2 kilometers. You'll see more of that, me suffering shortly, but it's also got 9 switchbacks. So 9 and 9 and 9. I think that's a nice way to start my little trip here in Italy. And of course, it would be rude not to have an espresso ahead of the climb. We're doing things right while we're here, aren't we, Davide?
Ready?
Ready as I'm going to be. 9k, 9% gradient, 9 switchbacks. Nice. All right. Could there be a more beautiful Italian scene, the Lasinia Park? But also, I present to you Davide's Cipollini. Look at this Italian style. For the purists, all the marks of a beautiful Italian steed. And obviously, Garda Hotel provide Pinarellos. Normally the F12 Dogma disc, but they're just in the process of replacing all of those. So this is the Pinarello Prince, and it's really, really nice. I mean, like, really nice to ride. Not quite as light as the Colnago or the Viglia, but lovely, smooth, wonderful bike to ride. So really enjoyed that. But Davide told me not to go too hard on the Perry Fossa climb.
But you want to push.
And what did I go and do? I went too hard at the bottom, and I got to make a confession. You might see a bit of the film. I think I was recording, I don't know, because I was away with the fairies for some of it. After about 22 minutes, I was struggling to hold even 250 watts. Struggling really to hold upper tempo, upper zone 2, if I'm honest. And I blew up, and we had to have a little stop. Yes, a stop. Learn a lot about pacing. We are coming back here for me to have a much better crack at that. But what did you say, Davide?
Well, we stopped for enjoy the view.
Yeah, we stopped and enjoyed the view, apparently. We did enjoy. I didn't. I berated myself, and I carried on berating myself up the rest of the climb. But learn a lot. And look at this. How convenient is that?
Yeah.
Mountain water on tap.